Hey everyone, it's Anne, Steel City Center, where we discuss artsy, weirdo, indie, and artisanal perfume. If you like those, you were in the right place. Hope everyone is doing awesome, and thank you so much for joining me again. We are doing a fragrance comparison failure today. So, I don't generally like Fragrantica, and I'm sure you all are aware of the drama about their political and other views that do not align with my moral compass. However, I get to use them certain times when they have the note breakdown, which you have to cross-reference with their websites because they're not always accurate. It's easy to pull, to cut and paste that way, right? But I was on there the other day because I got this bad boy, Avon Prima, and I was looking around for Fragrantica, and it said that this smells similarly to Narcisco Rodriguez for Her. And I said, that is not true at all. So let's talk about these two briefly. I won't go over the house. I will go over the notes. And comparables, not each other. Okay, so let's jump into it. So Avon Prima, and again, we won't go over Avon, but they've sold more perfumes than any other house. Chanel can suck it. They have over 1,800 perfumes, not all released in the US, which is a bummer because some of them that are released other places, absolutely fire, and cost a little bit of money to import, but whatever. So this is 2016, and it is, in the top, green pear, Italian bergamot, and plum. The mid is iris, jasmine, not a skanky jasmine, and rose centifolia, beautiful and bright. And the base notes are cedar, I don't know which kind, musk, it's gotta be a musk synthetic and not a stinky musk, vanilla, and not a very sweet vanilla, and then woody notes. So they do amber, and just really, really great. So there are some amber in there as well that's not listed. So on Parfumo, it's, oh, I lied, sorry. The Parfumers are Harry Fremont, Frank, Vocal, both from Feminiche. So, okay, this apparently on Parfumo is compared to nothing. And again, that's more user input than AI generated algorithms, so I trust them a little bit more. On Fragrantica, the notes are different. And if you scroll way down, oh, by the way, on Fragrantica, side note, here's some education. If you are on the perfume pyramid section, there's a grayed out button that says show votes. You can move that button from the left to the right, and it becomes a teal button. And what that does is takes the pyramid note breakdown and then lists those notes based on what users say they can smell the most. So here's a for instance with Prima. The top notes say plum, pear, bergamot. Mid is, again, rose, iris, jasmine. Base of musk, cedar, vanilla. Different from perfume, okay. But if you click it over, again, show the votes button to the right, the rose becomes the most dominant, then plum, then musk, then pear, then cedar, then iris, then vanilla, and then bergamot. So again, if you're looking for a perfume and you see a quote pyramid, and some of those notes are just like, nah, not having that. If you click on the show votes, again, based on user input, it will tell you what people smell the most. So take that with a grain of salt. But again, it might help you just rule out some fragrances or possibly include some fragrances based on that little tip. So anyways, back to regular schedule programming. If you go down to Prima, it says that this compares to Narcisco Rodriguez for Her. Now, there are 205 votes for yes and 163 for no. So that wouldn't win in any type of regular quorum setting. But that's the most reference. The second is another Avon fragrance called Premier Luxe Gold Blush, and that's just expensive. And the third is Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker. Now, Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker is also a really great alternative for this one, and we can compare that sometime. Sarah Jessica Parker, again, as an aside, was a complete fraghead, and she apparently would not approve any fragrance to go on the market with her name on it unless it was awesome to her, unlike some other celebrities who just put their name on a fragrance and then collect royalties. Okay, but really back to the regular schedule programming. So, again, I sprayed this on both on skin the other day, but I sprayed them on strip this time to think maybe I was missing something that I'm not getting. So it's about only 15 minutes ago, and Prima's beautiful. The rose is beautiful. The bergamot's still here. The iris is coming out a little bit, and it's kind of, it's a little bit powdery, but it's nice. Like, I love rose and iris combined. This is actually a really, really nice fragrance. The sillage is not great. It's very light, but so something like Prima, I mean, I wouldn't expect that to be something that's loud and overbearing, like big hair shoulder pads, smoking Marlboro Reds, the filters ripped off. That's not going to be this fragrance, unless maybe she does that at night. But this is actually really beautiful. Now, interestingly, the Narcisco Rodriguez for Her, I cannot smell this on a strip. On skin, I can smell it, albeit faintly. So there has to be some aroma chemical in here that they're using, and I should go over the notes of this. So let's go on to Narcisco Rodriguez for Her. It was released in 2013. Let's find the perfumer. By Christina Gel and Francis Kirkjohn. Francis Kirkjohn equals aroma chemicals out the ass. So yes. And they list musk, osmanthus, orange blossom, amber, patchouli, and woods. Remembering how I smelled this on my skin, I got a little bit of musk, some osmanthus, some orange blossom, a little bit of amber, not really patchouli, not really woods. I was actually surprised because I haven't worn this in years. And I went to put it back on because it's getting warmer. I was like, okay, let's try this out. There's supposed to be a violet leaf note in here. Can't find it listed, but I've had copious discussions with people on my Reddit forum about the violet leaf. Nothing, right? So, oh, this is so beautiful. On Fragrantica, it says, oh shit. You know, I apologize. I just gave you guys, oh god damn it. No, okay, we're good. The notes are the same, but again, the comparables for this one is definitely not Avon. The comparables for Narcisco Rodriguez for Her, per the user input, are Narcisco Rodriguez EDP, then Sarah Jessica Parker, and then some Maison Margiela Lazy Sunday Morning. I have no idea what that is. And then Byredo Velvet Haze. I've honestly only have one Byredo. I have not smelled it anymore. And then some other random ones, including, now I actually do like Narcisco Rodriguez for Her L'Absolu, but that is insanely expensive, and the performance on my skin is garbage for the $300 that you pay. I was lucky to purchase a decant from someone on Mercari, and it lasted like maybe 30 minutes. I could be anosmic to something in the base again because I can't smell this on a strip. So, suffice to say, I guess, three things. One, if you're doing your references homework on a fragrance, please don't just rely on the note listing. I've said this a couple times, especially as presented on a website. So Fragrantica gives you that toggle button. Parfumo can be a little more liberal in how they list notes. But sample, right? Don't be afraid to try something just because there's like a pig's feet note in a fragrance, right? Like, that's a little extreme. I don't know, like an iris note or an orris note or a cumin note. Just give it a try if you're interested in everything else. And again, you can't base that on there. Secondly, that this perfume reminds me of is not the most reliable source of information. So some people really go there and try to say, hey, I can find it inspired by, or something that's close enough to the reference. Sample that inspired by first, if you can, just to give yourself, hopefully you'll have the reference, and if not, get samples of both and try, and then see for yourself. And thirdly, don't shit on Avon. I don't work for them, I'm not impaired by them, but this Prima I would wear, and I had it on skin again yesterday, both of these. I would wear Prima 20 times over Narcisco Rodriguez for Her. It actually had some sillage, it had some lasting power. The Narcisco Rodriguez for Her, again, I could not smell after like 45 minutes. So yeah, I don't mean to sound doom and gloom. I'm really trying to just impart some education because I think a lot of folks are too trusting of the internet sometimes. And just a little reference. So I hope you guys had a great day. Oh, one more thing. Not related to these fragrances at all. My child's father had and this is all, label is totally jacked up. He had, I don't know why, it came from Amazon like this. He found this Old Spice deodorant called Old Spice Batman. I was expecting Batman to smell like self-hate and a cave, right? Because I shouldn't say self-hate, pain and suffering and a bat cave. That would have been awesome. Like, somebody please make this deodorant. But it is a black cherry fragrance. It is actually, I don't like black cherry except for Noah Drucker's Cherry Smoke Uber Intense. Like, this cherry fragrances, unless they're blended and cherry's not the central note, not my thing. This is actually an amazing deodorant. Like, I was so surprised when he walked by. I'm like, what are you wearing? He's like, deodorant? I said, what kind? So I'm stealing this for sure. So I actually want to make a video about all the deodorants he has because some of them are really great. So this is like $4. So if you're wearing cherry fragrances or cherry lotion, I'd consider this because it won't clash with your fragrances. And Batman is awesome. Who doesn't want to smell like Batman? I mean, come on. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll talk soon. Bye.